Record. Okay, so good evening, everybody. I'm like started trying to do this claw clip trend over here. And so I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I feel like it's like peacock feathers. So disregard that. But I was like, I'm gonna be trendy and like buy a clip again. And I don't know about it. We'll see how it goes. But I'm super excited for tonight. Tessie, you have been highly requested to be one of our guests on our Zooms and all the things. And so I'm really, really excited to hear your story and just hear some of your tips. So I will just have you start off with introducing yourself and just sharing your story and kind of how you found it works. And then we'll jump into some questions.
Okay, no pressure. I'm already sweating. Thanks. Hi, you guys. I'm excited to be with y'all tonight. My name is Tessie Carter. I've been in the business for 4 years now, which honestly, I didn't even think I would make it past, I don't know, like a day. I don't know. But before this business, I was a stay-at-home mom to 2 kiddos, also working from home. My parents own an electrical company, and so their office is in our backyard. So I was, when we got pregnant and had our second kid, I was like, daycare it wasn't worth it for me to work, knowing I had the option to work from home with my parents. And so that's what we chose to do, thinking it was best for our family, not to have to pay those daycare bills, because that's not cheap. And so I was working from home with my son, who was at home. He was 2. Paisley, my daughter, was 4.5 going on 5, and she was part-time in daycare. So maybe not a full-time job outside of home, but still a lot going on. And I came across the opportunity on Instagram. Actually, I did not have a Facebook, and Kelly Brown sent me a follow request on Instagram. And I honestly have no idea how, when, or why I accepted the follower request, because I had maybe 20 followers on Instagram. And typically I was only friends with people that I personally knew, but I guess something drew me to her. I accepted. I saw her kids in the picture, maybe, I don't know, but thankfully I did. But you guys, I read every single post of hers for 15 months. We personally were not struggling. I felt like we had an okay life, right? We were able to take our kids on vacations. We did a cruise once a year. We were able to save a little bit. We didn't have debt. Our bills were paid on time. And I was like, okay, we're doing awesome. We're young. We can do vacations. But come the end of the year, all the yearly bills were due. And that would wipe away everything we save. And my parents have always taught us, you want to have a savings account. You want to, save for a rainy day, save for medical, house emergencies, whatever it is. And I was kind of starting to think, like, how are we going to pay for our kids' college, cars, weddings? Like, how are we going to pay for this in the future? And then when I started following the opportunity and I saw Kelly buying a minivan in cash, and, she moved from Texas to Nevada, I was like, man, that's so cool. And I would read every post. I mean, every post to my husband. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know. It just seems cool. Like, how awesome. And he was like, you don't even know her. Like, what? And I'm like, I don't know. Just how cool would that be? Right. But I didn't think I could do it. I thought it was cool for her, but didn't think I could do it. And one day, my daughter asked me, she was like, Mom, can I join tumbling? And I was like, you want to quit dancing? And she was like, no, I want to do both. And I was like, okay. And I just looked at my husband and I was like, where, like, he knew. I was like already thinking, like, where's this going to come from? How are we going to pay for this? But he knew I didn't want to tell her no either. So February 2019, I said yes to the opportunity. And Kelly was like, okay, send me a friend request on Facebook. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to tell my family that I just joined a business online from a stranger, and I have to create a Facebook account. I do not want a Facebook. I did not want any part of that. I was like, that's like drama. I don't want it. And so I laid in bed that night and I was like, Kyle, if I have to create a Facebook account and start like posting and doing this stuff, I'm like going all in. Like, if I have to do this, my family is not going to like me. They've been trying to get me to get a Facebook. I am doing everything she tells me to do for 1 year. And if I'm not making money, then at least I can say I tried. And he was like, okay, let's do it. Like, and so you guys, within 3 months, we promoted to double diamond. His account promoted to diamond, earned all of those bonuses along the way for that. And 14 months in, so April 2020, we promoted from double diamond. We skipped right over triple diamond and we hit presidential. And it was seriously the craziest month during the pandemic, and it was fun. But this business has just changed everything for us. I honestly had no idea if this was going to last, if this was a real thing, who this worked for. But I knew if I tried and I gave it my all, that something would come out of it. And I had no idea what it would be, but I'm so thankful that I did because of this opportunity. We're able to take our kids on more vacations, make memories with them while they're little. We've been able to open up my husband his own business. We've actually through this business have really learned that we want to give monthly. So now, instead of going to church and just giving the few couple of dollars we would have in our wallets, we now tithe 10% each month, which is huge for us. And we've met really, I know a lot of people probably say this, but man, we've met the most awesome and have the best friends now because of this business. And we're just so thankful that one day on Instagram, I just accepted that follow request and it's changed everything for us.
I love that so much. And I think, it is so true. It's like, you just never know when it's going to happen and different things and promoting and stuff. And so I know more people are going to want to know details on that, but obviously, you've been blowing it up with enrollments and I see your little goal tracker and all the things in the background. So let's talk about things that are working for you as far as enrollments. Like, how are you bringing in customers? I think you said on the Zoom today, it was like 32 customer enrollments. You type that in. So talk about tips for enrollments of customers and then distributor, because everybody is going to build this business different. And obviously, you got started in before like pandemic and everything, and then things shut down. And so I think people are, but you've got also a great local team too. So maybe you can share some tips on that. So just hodgepodge or whatever you think with that, that'll go along. Cause I think that there's a lot of people that haven't built locally and that's something that they could be missing out on.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, whenever I first started, I didn't have a Facebook. So I was like, Kelly, how am I going to do this? Like, we don't have a large family. I didn't have a large group of friends. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, she was like, okay, we're just going to start and we're going to do host to post. And she taught me to grow my network also outside of host to post locally. So, I joined local boutiques and which may, I know now I don't personally grow this way anymore, but if you're wanting to grow a local team, I would join any mom groups, any boutiques you shop at, whatever type of boutiques you have local in your area or groups, I would join that and friend from there because that's where some of our local team have come from. And then thankfully they've added, from their network locally and it's just really grown. And because of that, we're able to have monthly meetings. Sometimes we do a diamond lunch once a month. We do a team meeting. We used to go out for a lunch, but now we started doing like a training at my house. So we get together, diamonds, I'm with them twice a month and then our teams monthly. And it just keeps the friendship for one. We're good friends. Like our little diamond chat today with a lot of our local girls, and it was real fun in there because we have such a good friendship outside of the business. We enjoy being together. We like talking. We like hanging out. And I think it's because we're also local and we get to be together and see each other's real personalities outside of the business and have those conversations. And yeah, Amy, it's really fun. And I'm actually in the process of planning our April event, which is going to be a big crawfish boil at our house that they get to invite their family to. And it's just fun to be together. So if you don't have that local team, I would suggest adding yourself to groups around you in your area, even if it's the state over to you or the cities, like we had people travel 3-4 hours to come to our monthly meetings. So that's not too far anywhere in your state. I feel like, unless if it's like Texas, because that's a really big state. But I would just really look at be intentional with where you're growing your network so you can grow that local team. Because of course, post to post, you can't really be intentional of where you're growing from, but adding people daily, you can. So I would highly suggest that. And then I've grown my entire business to presidential with host to post, just like a lot of people in the company has. But last year, I just kind of got to a point where I was like pushing ambassador, which didn't happen last year, right? We're just gonna put that out there. It didn't happen last year, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen this year. But I was like, man, if I want to go ambassador, how are we gonna do this? Like, I've got to step out of host to post because my enrollments weren't enough. For me personally, I feel like I'm always at that 5,000 mark and I have a love-hate relationship with unfriending people because if Kelly would have unfriended me because I followed her for 15 months, didn't host a post for her when she asked me to, I would tell her no to the business when she asked me 3 times. Like, what if she would have unfriended me or unfollowed me? So I personally don't like it. So I tend not to. I try and keep my people close. And I'm like, Facebook, can we up that 5,000, please? But so I have a love-hate relationship with that. So I was like, okay, how can I get outside of my box and do something that's scary? Because we know when we step out of our comfort zone, that's when the Lord blesses the work. So I was like, what else can I do? And I knew the answer was Facebook Reels and TikToks, getting back to that. And I was like, I don't want to. Like, I just didn't want to do Facebook Reels. I was like, I did TikTok and it was fun for a time, but then I was like, I just didn't want. And I was like, but Tessie, if you want massive enrollments, you've got to do something you've never done. So last year I jumped on the Reels, the Facebook Reels bandwagon, I guess. And I was doing 3 Reels a day, all fun ones, inspirational, uplifting, encouraging, no business, no product ones. And it grew my following. I think it was within 3 months to 250,000 followers on Facebook. And I was the girl that when I joined, I straight up asked Kelly, what about stalkers? Like, I don't want, and she's like, Tess, now you're here with 250,000 followers. How does that feel? And I'm like, it's a little strange, but it's fine. So I grew it to 250,000 last year and I was mass enrolling last year. And then I was like, oh, okay, summertime's here. I don't have to do this anymore. I'm just going to stick to host to post, right? I got lazy and I got complacent in my business. And man, I wish I wouldn't have, because who would have known what the end of the year could have been for me? But it happened. And I'm here to say, and then conference came this year and I was like, okay, Tessie, I just have the strongest feeling in my heart that I know is coming from the Lord, that this is our year to push ambassador. I'm like, okay, this is it. What does this look like for us? You know? And I was like, I know it starts with the leader. It starts with pace of the pack. So I'm like, I've got to be bold this year. Like, this is it. And I know I see some of my leaders on and their poor little hearts. They're like, Tess, we just pushed so hard when you set a team goal. And I'm like, fight for your own goals. No, I love you guys. But my team pushes harder for my goals than their own because they feel like they're a part of a team goal versus what if it's just me setting these goals and I don't hit it? At least if it's a Tessie set the goal, I have a part of it. So I'm like, okay, I've got to set goals. I've got to increase my enrollments, like looking at what this looks like. And when I got home from conference, I'm like, okay, I'm committing to host to post. And I'm like, host to post queen. I love it. I would get my 10 up and I'm like, I just need more enrollments. Am I saying host to post doesn't work? No, I think of Amanda and I'm like, she still signs 10 plus DTs. She enrolls a lot of customers and she is only doing host to post and it works. But I feel like I'm not unfriending enough people when I should, that I'm at my 5,000. So I was feeling like I was in this like hamster wheel of host to post, getting the same people to post for me. So I was like, okay, Tess, get back on your reels. So I started posting 1 reel a day. It has not grown my followers much. I mean, like, I think I've actually lost 3,000 followers in like a week's time, but because I'm posting 1 reel a day again, it's getting all of those followers seeing my post. And that's where I'm signing from. So all that to say is you can mass enroll from host to post, because last month I mass enrolled. And pace of the leader, pace of the pack this month, I have a couple of people, a couple of our leaders on our team that are mass enrolling. They're all not doing reels, but they're like, oh, wait, 1 person mass enrolled, let me get to it. And they're enrolling from host to post. I'm thinking of 1 person, she's pushing for Emerald and she's enrolled over 20 customers doing host to post. She hasn't done reels, right? So not saying that you have to jump on the reel bandwagon or that host to post doesn't work. What I'm saying is the more eyes you can get on your Facebook or your Instagram or wherever you're growing your business, the better. Whether it's host to post, oh my gosh, sorry. Whether it is host to post or reels, I say do all of it. The more people, the faster your business will grow, the more enrollment you'll have. So like I said, I'm doing 1 reel a day. I'm posting 4 times a day. So I'm posting twice about the business opportunity. So I post at lunchtime. We post a hard sell colored background for the business. And then at nighttime, before bed, I post my story about the business. So that's where I'm signing my teammates from, is from I think both of those posts, like at lunchtime, I mean, because some of them will get 50 plus comments on it from the hard sell because it catches people's attention. And then at night, I'm telling my story and they're like, oh, wait a minute. They saw this post about, oh, earn bonuses or whatever, who's looking for part-time income. And then they're seeing my story of how this business has changed my life. So they're like, oh, okay, let me really, like, now I'm interested, right? And then I'm posting morning time about the products and they're commenting on my post. So if you're like, I've never done Reels before, I would just tell you it's really fun. I have a lot more fun doing Reels than I do host to post. Both are successful. So what I tell my team is send out your host to post asks. And for us, we always say send out 40 messages to max, like minimum 2 times to 3 times a day. So send out one round of your 40 host to post ask and reward yourself with 10 minutes of looking for a TikTok or a reel to make if you're wanting to try it. I don't know like how y'all are wanting your team to do or what, but I always say, don't jump ship and stop host to post and try and blow up with reels, right? I didn't do that. I had to do all of it together. And that's how I would do it. I would reward myself. So I'd send out my host to post ask. I'm like, okay, good. I got my host to post messages out. Now let me look for a reel or a TikTok. I'd go as fast as I could to find one to save them all. I'd send out another round of, I'd find it. My 10 minutes would be up. I would send out another round of host to post at lunchtime. Okay, now I can go and make those reels. And it was like I was racing myself, which actually was really beneficial and helpful. And I probably need to race myself again to do that. But it's setting like, okay, when I do this task, I can reward myself with finding this to grow my business in both ways, because it literally takes one reel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook reel, whatever it is, to blow up. You don't need them all to blow up. It takes one to grow your following. And then they're seeing your post, and then they're getting to know who you are as a person. And that's where my enrollments are coming from, but it's because I'm having fun. They're seeing me on my page. They're seeing that I'm a real person, right? I mean, people will think you're a scammer or whatever it is. I'm like, no, look, here's all my reels. Like, here's the proof. And maybe you're like, I'm not gonna do reels. I feel like lives are kind of similar. So if you're like, I can go live. One of our girls, Kim Nicole, she's going double diamond this month, and she's doing reels, but she is signing so many people from going live on her page. It makes me sweat. I'm like, I could do reels all day long. Going live makes me literally sweat. I'm like, it just makes me nervous. But anytime that you can get on your page and talk and get your results. I'm telling you, I sent my 9-day Slimming Trio and Aloe results to every potential customer that I had. And it was 9 days and I lost like 5 pounds, and people were signing. They're like, oh my gosh, that's your 9-day results. And they're signing from it. So I'm like, can you get 5-day results using the Slimmer or the coffee, whatever it is you have? Can you get 5-day results? Because that will make a difference. Well, I don't have a lot of weight. I didn't have a lot of weight to lose either. 5 pounds isn't a lot, but when you can show someone a picture of you that you lost X amount, I probably lost 2 inches in those 9 days, that makes a difference. People need to see you're excited. They need to see your face. They need to see your results. Whatever it is, people need that right now. They want the encouragement, but they also need to see the truth behind it and the truth behind you as a person before they'll join your team or buy your products.
I love that. So I'm going to recap a few things just so that we're clear. So obviously, one, being a product of the product, we all hear this, but I love that challenge of just going and finding something that maybe you can get quick results in 5 days, take your before and afters and use that as like, your back pocket, like ace card. That's what I would say it is. It's like those things that you can be sharing those results and then talking, because people always are going to have problems that they need solutions for. And so when you're showing the results and how you can help solve their problem, that's when people are going to connect to your story. And then I love that you really talked a lot about reels and host to post. And so if there's people that are busy here, because I know that there's some people that are working full time, and I know like when I was working full time as a nurse, it wouldn't be like, oh, I could have all this time in the world to go and send 40 messages and then go. Like I would have to really pick and choose my time. But if you're sitting there thinking, okay, what are my non-negotiables for the day? Make sure that you're asking for host to post and make sure that you're getting up that other content. So are your reels still only fun ones? Are you throwing in business and product ones as well? Or are you going back to kind of what you did prior?
Okay, so I'm glad you said you were okay with me saying that. I'm like, I always get nervous. I'm like, I don't know if people want their teams doing reels or sticking to host to post. They both work, but
Who doesn't want them to do reels?
I don't know. I just get, my
We
little
need to
yellow
find
over
them. We
here.
need to find them.
My little yellow gets nervous.
Everybody needs to
So
do reels. Yes.
yeah, I'm still doing fun, inspirational, funny ones. And I'm actually reposting all of the ones that I did last year, and they're blowing up again. So if you ever did them, or if you jumped on the TikTok wagon, what was it, 2 years ago, I think, when we exploded with that, if you've done those, reuse those. That's what I'm doing, and they're still working. I will make new ones in between, but like on the weekends when I'm like, maybe we're not home or my hair isn't as clean on the weekends, we're at our camp, whatever, I'll throw up the ones from last year and use those. But I did do, because I have a couple of teammates that have some really awesome, we had 15-day results and now they're getting to their 30-day results. So I was like, okay, let me post a product reel. And it didn't do great. It didn't get a lot of comments. It didn't, get a ton of views. But what I will say is you can't focus on each reel's views and comments, because like I said, it takes one to blow up, and it takes, one to get just a couple of 100 views, and it starts growing from there. But don't focus on it and say, oh, well, it's not exploding yet, I'm going to stop. Don't do that. But like I did do the business one and I did a product one. They didn't create a massive influx of customers or teammates from it. But the other, life, funny, inspirational, uplifting ones, people will come in my messenger. Thank you so much for that reel you did today. I'm going through X, Y, and Z, and you don't know what that meant to me. And I will notice my followers grow from that, because they're seeing me. They're seeing the encouragement. They're seeing the inspiration, the uplifting, the funny. And they're like, oh, okay, I want to be her friend. And they're following me. So that's what I'm sticking to, because it worked for me. I know other people are doing, before and afters, and they're working. I think it's just what you're consistent with on a daily basis is what you're going to get. But I'm like, hey, I know if I can grow my following, that's more eyes that's seeing my post and getting alerted when and if I do go live. But that's what I want. I want more eyes on my page, and I know that I can grow it by showing people that I'm fun. I can steal people's stuff that's inspirational until I can think and make my own. And that's kind of what I'm doing again. Just I'm doing one a day versus when I grew my following, it was 3.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I know that was going to be a question people are going to be asking. So the other thing I wanted to ask, and I know we're pushing on time, but so obviously you've been bringing in all these new distributors and different things like, Kim's going to get you to go live more. Okay, Kim. That's why I'm like, half the time I'll have all these thoughts, and this is what happens to me. I don't know if it happens to you. I'm like, I'm in the shower and I'm going to go live, and I'm like, the game plan, and then literally I turn on live and I'm like, I have no idea what I was going to say. Like literally, it just disappears. Poof, it's gone. So, and obviously it's inappropriate to go live in the shower, so we're not going to do that. Okay, so back to business. So going, you've got a lot of people coming in. So what is your process for onboarding newbies? Because I think that's the thing where sometimes it can be so many ideas or different things. Do you guys have a system that you try and stick with that's, consistent? What does that look like? If you can share any tips on that, and then I'll have one other question for you before I let you go.
Yeah, so I'm really not the best systems person. And I've been I'm like, Kelly, I just feel like I don't have systems and I don't have, but we have a like just a launch board, and it just walks them through, like the first day is posting and watching like the training, a recording of our new distributor training. The second day is putting up another post, teaching them 4-in-1. Third day is host to post. Honestly, I feel like I do follow that, but I feel like people need and want friendship, and they want to know that you're there cheering them on. So last month I signed 15 distributors, which is more than I would like, because it's more than I can personally handle, but I couldn't stop the enrollments. I'm like, hey, if you're going to come in, come on in. But I had to personally make and this is nothing fancy, I just did some check boxes on Excel, but I put their names at the top, my new distributors' names, and then I numbered it 1 to 31. And then what I did is I had to make this like, all I did was, okay, I connected to this person, check, I connected, so that I was making sure that I connect to them every day. Because it's super easy to say, are you reaching out and talking to your newbies every day and think that you are? But if when you get to the point of enrolling more than you can sometimes handle, me, I like 6 to 8. I'm like, that's my sweet spot because I can remember them, right? And that's what I want to personally do. I want to remember my newbies. I want to be able to say, okay, here's my 8 teammates that I signed last month. Let me check on them versus having 15 and having to write their names down. I'm like, I don't like that, but it's fine. Because it's a numbers game, right? Some will never message you again. Some will take off. Some will do a little bit. And the more you sign, the more people you will find that will do something. And I realized that last month, out of 15 teammates, 9 of them enrolled something. 5 of them completed their 4-in-1s. So it's numbers. Are those awesome numbers? I mean, I would love all 15 of them to do it, right? We do. We want them to, but sometimes it just doesn't work like that. So I had to make this sheet because there was so many, and every day I go and I put a check mark next to their name so that come the end of the 31 days, I can say, okay, this is where this person ended in her 30 days. How good of a job did I do as a leader reaching out to her? How many days did I not connect to her? And it's helping me to make sure that I'm teaching her something every 30 days, not just, hey, how are you today? I don't get a check for that. When we get into conversation about the business, then I put the check because I'm checking in on them first as a friend. Building that relationship with them, honestly, is what's going to keep them here. They want friendships, whether they joined for money or friendships. Who doesn't want another friend? Who doesn't want to know that there's somebody cheering them and supporting them, right? So for me, making sure that they know what their 4-in-1 goal is, because that's the first goal, right? Sign your 4LCs, get your distributor, but then also cheering them on and giving them really good posts. So sometimes I don't follow the scripts because they need to hear who I am. Hey, don't forget, we have so many days until you complete your 4-in-1. You have 3 customers left and 1 teammate, how's host to post going? How it's really, I think sometimes, and I do it too, we think too much of what leadership really is, when I think about it and look at the people that are succeeding, my newbies, I'm like, oh, okay, I really did have a deeper friendship with them than I did so-and-so, or I connected to her more because of a family thing that happened or a post she made, so it's really just finding how can you be their friend first, checking in on them as a friend, because starting this can kind of be overwhelming for a newbie. Hey, how are you feeling? Go to their page on Mondays. I'm getting better at this, right? It hasn't stuck to me every Monday yet, but on Mondays, I'll try and go to their page and see what did they do this weekend? How can I connect to them as a friend first? And it takes time, but more of my people are sticking around because I'm creating that friendship with them. I'm checking on them. I'm loving them. I'm showing them, okay, this is how we're going to do it. I'm reminding them what the goal is and truly helping them and letting them know I want them to earn that 150. And I think that's whenever people trust you more, is when they see that you care about them as a friend. So of course, teaching them host to post right off the bat is important because that's how they're going to sign majority of their customers and teammates, is with host to post, but really just loving on them, being excited for them, holding their hand, spoon feeding them the post, the story slides, they can go and get it from the power hours that we have. But if they will put it up faster, if I send it to them every morning, I'll do that. I will do that for 2 months long if it's going to get them to be consistent with posting in the morning, posting at lunch, posting in the evening, reminding them about the power hours. Things like that will keep them around because it shows them that you really do care and want them to succeed. And I honestly think that is one of the biggest things of leadership. And I think a lot of things that kind of go unnoticed or maybe missed is that friendship. You can't just think of them as a box that needs to get to their 4-in-1 or a 400 box. They're a person that joined this business to make an income. How can you help them and be their friend to coach them through how to go ruby and emerald and diamond and so on?
I love it. I think it's great reminders, even if you've been in the business for a little bit or your brand's making new. And one of the questions that somebody had asked is just, how do you help newbies as far as like mindset shift? If, maybe they like get in a little bit, you have this like bout of not believing in yourself, or they get a little discouraged and stuff like that. So do you have any tips on that? But I feel like you touched it, if you're connecting and doing the friendship piece and having those pieces, that goes hand in hand with that question.
Yeah. And I will say, sometimes, it happens, but you sign a new DT and it gets to their 30 days and they didn't complete their 4-in-1 and we're like, oh, okay, next. How many times have, I have, I'll be honest. Sometimes if they, didn't complete their 4-in-1, I'm like, oh, okay, they just don't want to do this business. That's not always the case. And I have a teammate right now that she joined, I forgot what month she joined, but it was last year at the end. And she didn't complete her 4-in-1, right? But her second month in was whenever the Christmas cash, was it called Christmas cash? Those bonuses, mini Christmas cash, full Christmas cash, those things were announced. And all of a sudden she picked up and she earned a success bonus. She earned her mini Christmas cash in 1.5 months. And I'm like, man, what if I would have stopped talking to her, stopped checking in on her? And now this month she's about to go emerald and she's pushing for diamond all on her own because I didn't give up on her. So yeah, sometimes it is easy to say, oh, okay, you didn't complete your 4-in-1. I don't know that you want this, but sometimes people have bad months. I think of January, I think I signed like 6 LCs and I'm like, what if somebody would have written me off? You don't know what they're going through in that time frame. Maybe they had a bad month or a family emergency, or that was a bad, maybe somebody in their family, it was like their death anniversary. Like you really just have no idea what someone is going through. And if you've created that friendship with them, either they'll come out and tell you what's going on, or the next month, or when they're kind of back to their normal self, they're ready to pick up and go. And they could be your next diamond about to promote on your team. Like you really don't know, but just having that friendship, I think, is so important because they will rely on you. They will lean on you. They will come to you when they're ready.
Okay, one last question for you, because I always love to end our Zooms with this. If there's anything that you could go back and tell yourself, looking back over it, is there anything that you wish you would have done or you wish you would have known, like any piece of advice looking back and just saying, gosh, Tessie, if I could just tell you this now, what would be that piece of advice that you would give to yourself now?
Man, you didn't prepare me for this one.
I didn't, but I always like to see what happens because I feel like it's just always
Sure.
smart.
I think the biggest thing looking back is being afraid of the next level. So I promoted to double diamond within 3 months and then fell complacent because I didn't think I was a triple diamond leader. Well, Kelly was like, Tessie, there's nothing different. And I kept saying it. I'm like, I don't think I can go triple. I don't think I can go triple. She's like, you're so close. Like, we ended we went April. So March, we ended with 60 something thousand in volume. And I had never promoted to triple diamond before. I'm like, this is it. I told you I'm not a triple diamond leader. But really, I think it was just the mindset of it. The Lord, he won't bless you if you're not praying for it, if you're not working for it. And I felt like at that time I wasn't working for it because I didn't think I could be that triple diamond leader in the business because I didn't have the leadership skills. And it's really no different, except you just love on more people. Triple diamond wasn't any different than diamond. Presidential hasn't been any different than double diamond. There's just more people on my team to love on, more people to coach, more people to, show them the ropes and teach them what to do and how to make an extra income and all this stuff. So I think for me, that's what it is, because when April came, I was like, okay, this is the month. I think I can do this. I honestly believe Kelly when she says going triple diamond is no different except more people. And I started believing that triple was going to happen. And not only did triple happen, presidential happened in that same month. And I think it's honestly because I was like, okay, this is the month I can love on as many people as the Lord blesses my team with. And it was coaching people every day. It was showing them what I'm doing. And that's really all leadership is, hey, this worked for me. Why don't you try posting this? Hey, this story did good. Why don't you post this? Even some of our reels will be like, hey, this reel was a simple, easy one. Why don't y'all try posting it? You know, we've had some people on our team make like generic ones that everyone can use. It's really just do and then teach what you're doing that's working. And you will always continue to go up to the next rank or the next level of your business. But I don't want you to be afraid of that next rank of what that leadership you think looks like, because it really is no different than where you're at right now, except more people to love on, to have fun with, to help guide them to make an income just like you are.
You are awesome. Thank you so much. That was incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I know I got a lot of great nuggets and different things, and phone's been blowing up. So I appreciate you taking time out of your night to join us tonight. And yeah, y'all go shout her out on social, all the things. And we will be back next week. But thank you again, Tessie. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, you guys.
All right. Bye, y'all.